Welcome back to the IBSP. Here's your host, Boxing News.
Edgar Berlanga has to prove he's not garbage truck juice. And look, let's break it down honestly and objectively as possible. And Edgar Berlanga has come out with a knockout victory, and he's calling out everybody. He calls out Jaime Munguia, Jermall Charlo, Caleb Plant, and Canelo Alvarez. Not all of these fights make sense, but what does make sense is that Edgar Berlanga needs to step in the ring with a top name, get a win, and prove to everybody that he's not garbage. What happens is Edgar Berlanga talks all of this trash, talks how he can beat everybody, talks about how great he is. He got his ass whooped against Canelo Alvarez and went on a tour like he won. Who celebrates getting their ass whooped? I've never seen this in boxing ever before. So now it's time for Edgar Berlanga to get a respectable name on his resume and show the world that he's not ass, that he's not garbage truck juice, that he's actually an excellent fighter, and we've all been doubting him. It's time for Edgar Berlanga to take that step. Now look, let me break it down. First off, all of these names don't make sense. When you look at it, Jaime Munguia doesn't make sense. He's coming off a knockout loss to Bruno Soares, and he has to rematch him first. So that fight doesn't make sense right now. Canelo Alvarez, that doesn't make sense at all either. One, Canelo's booked. He has a 4-fight deal with Turki Al-Sheikh. But even if he didn't, you literally lost every single round. There's no reason for a rematch. So that doesn't make sense. Jermall Charlo hasn't fought since 2023. That doesn't make sense at all. And then you get to Caleb Plant. That makes perfect sense. Caleb Plant is in need of a big fight. You're in need of a big fight. Caleb Plant is available. You're available. Caleb Plant is calling you out. You called out Caleb Plant. It makes perfect sense to make this fight. Both of these guys have history. Both of these guys have had face-to-face confrontations. So this makes perfect sense for you to fight this fight. But not only just that, this makes even more sense because everybody believes Caleb Plant will whoop your ass. They believe you will lose this fight, and yet this is probably one of the more winnable fights for Edgar Berlanga. Think about it like this. No one doubts that Caleb Plant's a better boxer than Edgar Berlanga. No one doubts that Caleb Plant has more skills than Edgar Berlanga. I think that Caleb Plant is more skilled, a better boxer, has a better IQ. And with all that being said, I would still favor Edgar Berlanga to win this fight. And it's simply because Caleb Plant slows down in the second half of fights. That's the only reason I would pick Edgar Berlanga to win this fight. Now, that's not to say that Caleb Plant couldn't win the fight. It's simply saying that I don't believe that he's going to have the gas tank needed to go the full 12 rounds without getting touched. I mean, we've seen him get hurt against McCumbee. We've seen him slow down and lose against Benavidez, slow down and lose against Canelo. And the fact that you would slow down and get hurt against a guy like McCumbee, even though he won, really shows a lot about your stamina and gas tank at 168. So until that's fixed, I don't feel comfortable picking Caleb Plant to beat any guy that has a puncher's chance, and even Edgar Berlanga is a better fighter than McCumbee. Let's just be honest and unbiased about it. It's time for Edgar Berlanga to grow up, let his nuts hang, and fight Caleb Plant.